Now I am again welcoming all of you in this webinar where we are very much fortunate to got Shamalima Datta, corporate psychologist, as the main speaker. And I am welcoming all those participants who are joining this webinar from different area of our country. We are going to start this webinar from 11:55. Hope I'm just waiting for our mentor to join. Shamalima ma'am, are you there?
Hi, Monica, and hi, everyone. I'm there. I would switch on my
Okay,
video.
okay, ma'am. Let me introduce your like you with everyone in the group, and then you can start with your PPT presentation and your webinar.
Exactly. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Monica.
And thanks for everyone for joining today's webinar. Let me welcome few more participants. Welcome to Rina Kumari ji. She is a student of MDU Psychology. Welcome to Pooja ji. She is also a student of Psychology from MDU Rohtak. Welcome to Rupal Shekhwat ji, studying medicine. Welcome to Renu Kataria ji. She is a student of Kisan College Education, Meham. Welcome to Vanshika Beri, student of MA Psychology. Welcome to Suresh Kumar ji, student of MA Clinical Psychology from IGNOU. Hope all of you are going to get enriched by today's new topic on spiritual intelligence. Already we have known, like we know about what is intelligence, we know about emotional intelligence, we have heard about social intelligence and artificial intelligence, but this spiritual intelligence is a very new concept, and people are researching on these and practicing on this particular topic these days.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Welcome all of you.
Good afternoon,
Yes.
good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gaurav Verma, Director of Guidance City. Welcome you all for today's episode of DC webinar series, episode 4. I'm grateful to introduce psychologist Shamunima Datta, who is going to be present today's webinar on spiritual intelligence. He is a great human being and good friend of mine, working as a corporate psychologist with TCS and Yourdor. He is prominent CBT practitioner and psychometric testing expert. He is the alumni of DU and Jamia. So, Ms. Datta, your audience is waiting for you, and you can start your webinar. All the
Thank.
best.
I will switch on my view. And thank you, Mr. Gaurav. If when I ask you to share the slides, just then share
Yes,
you can.
right.
Thank you. Okay. So, hello everyone. Today I'm going to share my thoughts and my views on spiritual intelligence. So, spiritual intelligence is a very new concept which has come up. We know about IQ, we all know about EQ, but we are not very proficient about SQ. It's a very new topic, so that's why I chose this topic so that everyone can get some knowledge about it. So, Mr. Gaurav, can
Thank
you
you, ma'am.
can you share the screen again? Sorry, the slide. Yeah. So, first, before starting, I would like to let you know about understand from the audience about what they understand by the term spirituality. So, can I go to the previous slide, Mr. Gaurav? The previous slide, which had the question for the audience. Yeah, this one. So, as you can see on the screen, can you tell me, have you ever been aware or influenced by a presence or power? Okay, so I won't say that it is God or maybe you believe in some higher power, because in spirituality we are not concerned about a personal God or someone you believe on a higher in some higher power. It is basically about what you understand by someone being up there. So, has anyone experienced such a phenomena which is different from your everyday life? So, I would want it to be very interactive, because then I would be able to understand whether you understand. So, you can unmute yourself or put your answers on the chat box, whatever you feel. right? So we can always see what's on, right? So anybody from the audience, please feel free to express yourself, and there is no inhibition in that. Please don't feel inhibited. Anyone?
A- Anyone who want to answer ma'am can come to the chat box or can directly unmute yourself and can answer to the ma'am.
Yeah, anything. You can come to the chat box as well. If you're not comfortable in speaking on the,
So the question
yeah.
was, have you ever been aware of or influenced by a presence of power, whether you call it God or not, ma'am? For me, what I think that the nature is the power and it is everything to me. Like I am, though not a specific believer of specific God, because there are so many God in our like culture. So that is why I do believe that the nature is the power.
Okay, that's very good. So what Monica believes is that nature is something which she connects with, and that makes her feel positive about everything else, right? And it has it influenced you in any way, Monica?
Actually, the thing is that directly or indirectly, I would say that most of the time, whenever I used to pray to the like superpower, like plants, then sun, like just I've been being a person who is always like thankful to all those nature because they are giving us the energy to survive well. So
Right.
I feel that influenced me more. Ma'am, there are some answers in the chat box that
Okay,
Reshmi
I
Verma
will
ma'am, she
just.
has said that I believe in supernatural power, and there is Shubhankar Ghoshal Roy. He said
Ghosha.
that yes, I would like to believe that I have been influenced by a higher power.
Okay. So can you elaborate? Okay, Abantika Ghosh, hi. She has said.
Spirituality means higher level of nature. It's all
Uh,
about all the energy. It connected each other for survival. There is Niharika Khanna. She said, yes, when you believe in yourself and power of universe, us always here to support you. Shalini ji also
said,
said
I'm a
something that
believer.
yes, I am also believer in superpower.
Yes. So all of us, in some way, have that thing that there is
Hello.
a high. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hello. Hi.
yeah.
Hi. Hi. Actually, I have joined 2 minutes late. I have
No
been.
problem. No
So
problem.
uh, when I have opened the screen, I have seen your question. So my answer is that is our whatever you call the supernatural power or the God. So everything existence within us. So
Right, exactly.
yes.
Okay,
So
well,
if
that's a
we
very
if we
nice
can
answer.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
we can power ourselves and our inner power, inner strength, that will be supernatural, and we can achieve anything if we want that.
Right, exactly. Can I know your name?
My name is Triporna Bhattacharya.
Okay, that's a very nice answer and different. That is very nice. Okay, and Devlina Sharma Chaudhary, she said, I believe that there is some superpower. So basically, what I wanted, this question was meant to make us feel that yes, we all have this thing in ourselves that there is some higher power which is there. Although even those who have been atheists, okay, Shubhankar, please come, unmute yourself and please speak on the subject. Right now, if you if you have any inputs, please tell us so that everyone gets enlightened from about your point of view as well.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, you are Shubhankar.
All right. Ma'am, I believe that whenever we are in sync with ourselves, whenever we sit quietly and can gather our thoughts, or
Very,
whenever
very
we get inspired by anything that gives that burns that light within us, be it our parents, be it someone randomly on the street, be it
right,
nature, be it plants, be it dogs, anything that gives us energy. I believe
right,
it to be spiritual, and I believe it to be magical, because the creation of this world as it is in itself is a miracle. And I believe
right.
that when we get in touch with ourselves and become a little bit more sensitive to the world around us, then we
Very,
are
very good.
influenced by a spiritual
By
power.
yeah. So, have you had any experience, any specific experience which you felt was different from your everyday life? in your everyday life? Like you felt some power which has helped you, or maybe you felt something, a sensitive thing which was there, which has been there, which might have influenced you in some way. We are not calling it God or anything. It could be a higher power, or someone said there is some power out there. So anything which has influenced you, Shubhankar?
Yes, ma'am. I believe that on a day-to-day basis, somewhere or the other, I am influenced by the people and the things around me. To quote an example, I'd like to bring up an anecdote. So
Okay.
once I was in my school and I was just walking along the hallway, and I saw a little girl of nursery or KG class
Okay.
in a zigzag pattern, and I couldn't
Right.
understand her. I
Okay.
thought she was going to fall or she was scared of something. But
Yeah.
then when I went close to her, and she told me that there were little ants walking on the ground, and she was trying to protect them and not hurt them. So,
Okay. Wow.
ma'am,
That's really. Yeah. 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 Go ahead. Go ahead.
yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, at that point, a child who was, I don't believe the little girl to be more than 3 or 4 years of age, but understanding of life and death and how to respect other things. Ma'am, that was a moment of serendipity for me when I realized that we human beings are born in this world, and the gender, the strengths, the gifts that we have been given are already allotted to us. But kindness is an option that we can
Right.
inculcate. And I believe empathy and kindness are, in a way, spirituality, almost
Right.
close to
Very.
spirituality.
Yes, and that we can definitely inculcate in our everyday life as well, because as we can see that there is so much of cruelty around this time, or lack of empathy, lack of emotional connect. So if we generally feel, for the creatures around us or for the less privileged, then definitely that is also a part of, spirituality, I would say. Very good, Shubhanga. Can I go to the next slide, Mr. Gaurav? Yeah, the next slide. Yeah. So we all know that there are two kinds of two kinds of intelligence we are already aware of. That is IQ, and then another one is SQ and EQ. So EQ is some IQ. We all know that there is an obsession with IQ with everyone around us. We want a high IQ, so we feel that having a high IQ would get us a good job and would take us to higher levels in life. But there are other things also, like Aristotle in the first go had started the concept of IQ, and then EQ is something which was a concept introduced by Mr. Daniel Goleman. So he researched a lot on EQ, and he said that it is something which is very important for us. So that is also parallel processing in the right brain, and IQ is basically a serial processing for the left brain, in the left brain. So can anyone tell me that why EQ could be more important? Because I think EQ we all know in some way, isn't it? I just so anyone from in the chat box or in general can tell me anything about why having an EQ is important, as important as IQ, and then I would definitely go to SQ. So I would touch a bit on EQ because EQ is definitely important, isn't it? So anyone from the audience who can enlighten us a bit or can give their perspective?
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Who is this? Can I tell us
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
name?
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
Triporna.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Shripana.
Yeah.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. EQ is important because we all know EQ control our own regulation, and it taught us how to regulate other emotions. So
Right. Exactly.
building and managing the relationship between peoples with others and with ourselves. So EQ
Right.
plays a very important role.
Exactly. So basically, what we have seen is that people these days have very high IQs, but a lot of people are lacking in EQ, right? So that's why a lot of people are getting prone to emotional illnesses like, anxiety, they have depression, and a lot of mental illnesses that are coming, and normal stress as well. So, if we compare two people, so one person can be very cheerful under pressure, and another person might feel very low or very pressurized under pressure. So that is basically a presence of higher EQ, right? So IQ and EQ possess an equal importance. Now, why SQ comes into the picture is that what we feel, as Shubhankar also said, and what he said, that we should have a sense of empathy and love, or the feeling of connect with the creatures, maybe animals, or maybe our fellow human beings. So what happens is, those who have a higher SQ, they have a better meaning for life. So even when they are going for general success, and everything else, they are gaining materialistically, they have their cars and house and everything. So a lot of people, we see that they say that they're very unhappy with their lives, even when they have everything in their life. So at this point of time, the SQ or spiritual question comes into picture. So what happens is that when you have a higher spiritual quotient, you are able to lead a value-led life. Like you know what is value, and you have a purpose in life, isn't it? So, hi, Shri Paru Sri Lekha. So, do you want to tell us that anything which has given you some meaning in life, or because of practicing any kind of spiritual stuff, like maybe meditation, or maybe chanting, or maybe just writing down your thoughts, has helped you with dealing with life? You can write it down. Not only Sri Lekha, but everyone present here. Does anyone want to tell us how it has affected you? Because with me, I have been practicing a lot of chanting and a lot of writing reflective thoughts. Like every day, I try to write down my thoughts and understand where am I going wrong. So I feel that that gives a purpose to me personally. And as it is, being a psychologist, I think a lot of people here are mental health practitioners. So definitely they also have a purpose of helping people around. And Shubhankar, as I know that you are a journalist, and you also write on various social topics, and he has interviewed me also once or twice. So I know that he also has some kind of purpose. So would you want to tell us anything? Sri Parna, Shubhankar, Sri Lekha, and the others who are present here?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for introducing me, and I was very fortunate to take your interview that day.
Yeah, no,
It
it was a
led me
pleasure.
to, yes, ma'am, where I am
Yeah,
today. Uh,
yeah. So you are already practicing. So can you tell us your experience also?
all right, ma'am. After interviewing you, I have pursued a few online courses on psychology. I have got a positive psychology degree from North
Okay,
Carolina University,
that's
and
very nice.
I have got
Okay,
a sociology degree from Wesleyan University online courses. And
okay,
ma'am, after studying, after interviewing, after knowing people, I came to a conclusion that many of the problems that we as human beings face this day is because, as I mentioned before, that we are out of sync with ourselves. And
exactly.
as it states in the attribution theory, that when we put our mind to something, when we focus on something so adamantly, then it
Right,
keeps on becoming a reality for us. So,
right,
when a person is spiritually attuned, then that reality is positive and it helps that person and the ones around him. And when the person
right.
is not spiritually attuned, um, the opposite happens.
Right. So it helps in controlling our emotions as well, right? Managing our emotions. I think you must have, however you practice it, as you said, has it influenced you emotionally as well?
Yes, ma'am, it definitely has. I think spirituality is the bridge between being able to use IQ and EQ properly and when to
Right.
use either of them.
Exactly, exactly. Very nice insight from you. And Monica, yes, positive affirmations with meditation is a very good combination that it helps a lot in, helping us understand and move ahead in life in a very positive way. Even in adversity, we have seen that people who face a lot of adverse condition in life seem to be cheerful. So because they can manage their emotions. Okay, Lalita Vankayalapati, I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. She said that his meditation helps a lot. And Ma'am Rashmi Verma said law of attraction matters a lot in real world. Definitely, this reminds me of the book Secret that also has a concept of law of attraction in all of us, right? That if we attract good thoughts come to us as universe helps us in attracting the positive in our lives. And chanting and meditation, Devlina Sharma Chaudhary said, helps me understand the reasons behind my own actions. Exactly, that is what I was coming to. That even when we write down our own thoughts or we are understanding about our own actions, we know the whys of our actions. So when we know the whys of our actions, we can always give a positive contribution to everything, isn't it? Okay, Manasi wrote, journaling has helped me a lot to gain insight and facilitate self exploration, which is often reflected by my spiritual thoughts. Very good. Journaling is another aspect in which you can, if we will discuss it later, where you can increase your spiritual quotient to another level. And Avantika Ghosh has written, meditation gives positivity to ourselves and also our environment in which we live through positive affirmations. Yes, very, very true. Exactly, Shubhankar, practicing gratification or gratitude, expressing gratitude, that also helps. This reminds me, I think Monica had also shared a post recently in which she said that gratitude helps in affecting some of the neurotransmitters. Like, for example, if the serotonin level is low, then it goes high if if we practice gratitude. So it affects our even our brain positively. So definitely the gratitude also helps. So these are journaling, chanting, meditation. The more we get these things into our lives, the more we feel connected to everyone. And another good thing is that we are able to influence the other person in a very positive way, isn't it? Yeah, meditation again. Reach and meditation is something which everyone these days is practicing. Be it Western world, Eastern philosophy, everyone is focusing on the meditation aspect, and it is not just something which is just said. It has been given by research as well. Hello, Deepanita. Welcome to the webinar. Yes, Evelina, please say. We are all listening. Would be glad to get your insight.
Yes, hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, you're totally audible. Please say.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I have written that that chanting and meditation had helped me, but
Yeah,
from where that I have started that Mahamantra chanting, that I've
right,
started reading that after I started reading the Bhagavad Gita. At first, I
right.
was not able to understand it, but
Okay,
then there are many books which were having the translations as well, the
okay,
meaning and their translation. So there,
right,
one thing in the very first chapter, one thing I liked very much that there was written that there are three psychological traits which we need to overcome to grow
mm,
in the path of spirituality. There they
right,
said that the traits, they are in first one, that is insecurity of comparing, second is insecurity of critical nature, and third one
right.
is insecurity of false compassion. Now
Wow,
I
that's
thought that
yeah,
for me that insecurity of false compression was the main problem that I was facing. That if a
Okay.
person is not behaving properly with me, but if I am after that, if I am trying to behave like that, but still I was feeling guilty from my side that whatever
Okay.
he is doing, but I should not be behaving like him. Then what will be the difference between both of us? But then
Right.
after reading many sloks in the first chapter itself, that doubt
Right.
from my mind that was vanished, because I understood that how should I behave in those situations. So
Okay. So
after
basically,
started
reading
reading,
that
yeah.
help. Yeah. Yeah. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah.
No, yeah, that is what I'm saying. That after started reading that Bhagavad Gita and started doing the Mahamantra chanting,
Okay.
I got a very like from inside I get some peace.
Right. Okay. That
So
that that
that's
gives
why
a
I'm
very. You are continuing with it. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, participants, for being so, for being so interactive, and it's making it even more interesting. So let's go to the next slide. So Gaurav, if you can change the slide so that we can, further our discussion. Yeah. So why is it essential? Basically, that's what we were discussing right now. So Rumas, Khana, Krishna, Kishore, thanks for your inputs, all of you. So it is used to grow our human brain. So definitely, when we have a limited perspective of things, we are not able to analyze our situation. But now we are able to, we can get a higher perspective or a wider perspective of things in our lives, right? And there is a lot of existential crisis going on these days because people have a lot of existential problems, issues of why they are doing something. Because I think a lot of people who are already practicing as psychologists, they also have heard from their clients that okay, we are just going to office, we are coming back, we don't know why we are doing this. So they have no meaning in life, and that's making them depressed. So when you have a spiritual perspective, then definitely it gives you a deeper meaning to life. For example, somebody who is into social work, or somebody who is a journalist, or somebody who is doing a lot of self reflection, or does it every day, has some scripture reading, like ma'am said, the scripture reading the Bhagavad Gita. Or it's not only about Bhagavad Gita, it can be Quran, it could be the Bible, anything. So that also gives meaning to our lives, right? So existential crisis, anybody from the audience would like to tell us anything from their client's perspective, that they face such a problem, existential issues, although I know that people have been facing it, and how to overcome it, the existential crisis that we face. From anyone in the audience would like to give insight? Anyone can write in the chat box, or they can also unmute themselves and speak. I think anyone has read that book, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. So that is something which I always recommend to a lot of students, also to a lot of clients also. So in that scenario, what happens is Viktor Frankl was a doctor who was at that point of time when Hitler was sending people to camps, the Jews to camps. What he said is that a lot of people lost their meaning in life, and a lot of people just died because they had no meaning. But people who found some meaning in their lives, like Viktor Frankl himself, he wanted to help other people get out of their distress. So that's why he was able to, according to him, he was able to survive the concentration camp, because he was able to, and he also gave the logotherapy later on. That also deals with doing something meaningful with your lives. So anybody who has read that book, or anybody who has an experience which has changed them, when they actually could deal with their existential problems or issues, or maybe someone else, not yourself, anybody who wants to know. Okay, yes, Jayanti, Venkatesh, Sai, meditation definitely helps. Thanks everyone for your inputs again. So when we come to this topic, can anyone say anything? Shubhankar, Monica, since you guys have been so active, and Anybody who wants to say anything? Shriparna, Devlina, Dipanita is also there. Anyone wants to speak up on this topic?
Hello.
The existence. Yeah. Please go ahead.
I think people are responding in the chat box. Like
Yes,
Shubhankar
yes,
already have responded. Bebera, Hemalatha, she's also no.
yes.
Okay, she isn't like
Existential crisis is
only
resolved
Shubhankar has
for.
responded in this area.
So, Shubhankar, yes, existential crisis is a very it's a very common thing which is existing right now, right? So we can always deal with our existential crisis or the lack of meaning with life through spiritual pursuits that we will come to when in the next coming slide. So, can we go to the next slide, Mr. Gaurav? Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, so there are types of spirituality. One is humanistic spirituality. So we have lots of kinds of spirituality which are there. So one is connecting to humankind. So we have seen a lot of examples in our lives who connect to humankind. They feel close to others through altruism and reflection. So as all of you said, that definitely when we practice gratitude and we practice reflection, we are able to connect to humankind in general. So a lot of people have done have contributed in this area. So we can give examples of a lot of people. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ravi Verma. Yeah. So, can anyone tell me how it connecting to humankind, or give an example of any personality who you feel that contributed a lot and you were inspired by such a person? Anybody? Yes, Sarita, practicing gratitude is very much helpful. Yeah. So I have an example in the next slide. Mr. Gaurav, can you change the slide to the next one? Yeah, with an yeah, Martin Luther King Jr. Exactly. He did a lot for the people. Yeah. So can you elaborate, Shubhankar, if you can, for yeah, and
Hello.
how? Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, Suparna here.
Yeah, Shubhankar,
Actually,
please.
humanistic spirituality give a real life experience example. We can say Mother Teresa.
Yeah, exactly. Very true. Yeah. I have given an example here. So basically, yes, definitely Mother Teresa has done a lot of, charitable things for the poor, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. And what I personally gave the example of Helen Keller, because Helen Keller was a social activist, as we know, and she contributed a great, deal to the society, as I have written it here. And she almost has 475 speeches, as she wrote on faith. Then she wrote on blindness control. So as we know that she was born when she was born, in just 2 or 3 months she developed a brain fever which made her blind and deaf as well, deaf and dumb. So what happened is that she was not able to connect. Everybody was worried, and then Miss Sullivan was her teacher who helped her, understand sign languages, and she could even give speeches. Speeches in the sense she wrote a lot of journals, and she was the first blind and deaf to complete her graduation. The first one who could actually complete it. So she was someone who inspired a lot of people around her, that despite having disabilities, you can still thrive in life, isn't it? So if you believe in this, so if that faith, if we have that faith in ourselves, we can definitely transcend all kind of adverse situations. So Martin Luther King Jr. was one. Shubhankar, can you? Yes, Swami Vivekanand is definitely one. He is my personal idol as well, and he has given a lot of spiritual insight. And yes, Niharika, he has helped me also to find a deeper meaning of life. So whenever I feel bad or I'm very low, I generally turn to his teachings. So that's really a good. Yes, even small things. Buddha, definitely, yes, Buddha has been there. But here I am specifically concerned about, actually I would definitely move ahead with other types of spirituality. So here, which is generally who have generally been in touch with the humankind. Can we go to the next slide? Can we go to the next slide? Mr. Gaurav, yeah. So now religious spirituality. So a lot of people, what they do is they feel close. Yeah, Ram Krishna who wrote Kathamrita. Exactly. Yes, of course. So when we come to religious philosophy, spirituality, we can come to Ram Krishna here. We can give examples of people who are associated with religion, some kind of religion. For example, Ram Krishna, Buddha. He spread the Buddhist philosophy. Ram Krishna, everyone. So the closeness and connected to something sacred. They had a sense of closeness to a particular power. For example, Buddha had a certain belief system. Ram Krishna, he had a personal god Kali. Then lot of other like Mother Teresa, I see, give the example. She believed, she was a Catholic, Roman Catholic, so she believed in the teachings of Jesus and she spread those teachings. So religious spirituality is also something which gives a lot of meaning to us, isn't it? So can I have the next slide? In this I gave the example of Mother Teresa. Can I have the next slide, Mr. Gaurav? Yeah, so Mother Teresa, as I said, that she was the founder of the Order of Mystery of Charity, and she dedicated her life to the poor. So anyone can wants to give example of any other person who must have who inspired you or someone. Abantika gave the example of Ramakrishna, Ruma Sthana for Buddha. Then yeah, Niharika also gave the example of Vivekanand, Swami Vivekanand. So anyone who wants to give any other examples, or they can speak also. Yeah, Sai, exactly. Satya Sai or Sai Baba. Yeah, so Yogananda, exactly. So Swami Yogananda gave the example of he found a society. Yeah, Durga Bai Deshmukh, exactly. Very nice. All of you giving the inputs as really giving more insights to everyone present here. That is very nice. Yes. And the next one would be, can I have the next slide, Mr. Gaurav? Can I have the next slide? Yeah. Yeah, so nature philosophy. Now, as Monica in the beginning, she said that connection to the environment or nature, right? So now that is something which a lot of us might be connecting to. Yeah, Gita methodology, Rumasthana, yes, and mother touch therapy. Very nice. So when we connect to nature, we get to know a lot of people. My personal favorite would be definitely in Indian philosophers, and everyone is there. But when we go to Western poets, if we see, so we can give the example of Wordsworth. So William Wordsworth wrote a lot of poetry on nature. Yes, Sadhguru is another. Yeah, he has a very good personality, and his lessons are definitely helping. But here, anyone wants to elaborate on the nature philosophy? Yes, Wordsworth, both of them. Yeah, where Wordsworth also is there. Can I have the next slide? In this, I have given an example of Wordsworth. So Wordsworth wrote the poem Daffodils. So if anyone has read the poem, they can feel the presence, how he expressed the flowers and how you can feel about it. Everything has been given in such good detail. Yeah, Gaur Gopal Das is someone who has been very inspirational recently, and he has given speeches to a lot of corporates as well, right? So Wordsworth has always talked about pantheistic divine presence, right? So what he felt is connecting to nature always made him feel spiritual, and he felt very natural about everything, isn't it? So Ravi Verma, yeah, Buddha, and yeah, Arthur Sheffer, definitely. Anybody else would want to speak on this? Wants to tell us anything about it? Otherwise, we'll go ahead for the next slide. Yeah. So, okay, how do we enhance our spiritual intelligence? Now, there are lots of ways to enhance our spiritual intelligence, but here I've given the main point. Okay, slides are not visible. Okay, it is there. Can I? Okay. Can everybody not see, or it's only a problem with Suresh? Then I can make it better. Okay, can see. All right. Suresh, maybe there is some problem with your network because others can see, as per my knowledge. Yeah, Shubhankar, practices of nature existed before religion itself. Exactly. That is very true. Thanks for letting me know that you guys can see everything. Yeah, practices of nature existed before religion itself. Yes, that is true. Even during the ancient era, people used to pray to trees and sun and the moon. Everything they used to do, and that was not related to religion at all. And it was a spiritual practice in itself. That is very true. So how we enhance our SI or SQ, anything what you want to address it as. So one is understanding a deeper motive. Okay. Yeah. The first traces can be found in global. Yes, right. Exactly. Okay. Niharika, yes, our ancient. Okay. Shubhankar, I actually am not very much. I don't know about Gobakli Tapi. Can you elaborate on this? And then we can go to the next. Okay, Niharika, yes, our rishis and munis have been into nature only. That is true.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, Shubhankar. Please tell us anything about Goba Clay Tapi. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I was actually watching documentaries on uh, Nat Geography. So,
Okay.
ma'am, there I stumbled across a documentary on Gobekli Tepe. It is the first traces of, we can say, spiritual practices even before the invention of agriculture. So, we're talking about
Okay.
12,000 years ago.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm. Okay.
Shamans or people that used to live in the Stone Age or the Neolithic Age, they used to worship cattle, they used to worship their ancestors, and traces have been found of statues that are built, and
Right.
those statues represent their inner selves, their animals, their totems, and the nature itself. So, ma'am, I think if we go back to our very first traits, then we
Okay.
will be able to find that we used to worship everything around us, which gave us a better insight of ourselves.
Okay. That's a very different concept. I didn't know about it, but thanks for enlightening us, Shubhankar. Would love to know more later on, definitely. Right? Okay. So, enhancing our SI, as I said, understanding our deeper motives, right? Whatever we are doing in everyday life, if we have a motive behind it, for example, even the simple act of eating, or when we are going somewhere, or maybe when we are helping people, if we have this thing concept in our mind that we are doing it for a, we are contributing to a society in some way, or even a simple act of when you are talking to someone, if we are talking with some meaning behind our words, we have some meaning behind our words. Otherwise, unnecessarily speaking on different topics which has no meaning. We know what we are talking. That also gives an understanding of our motive, what we have for others. Okay, and being responsive to the deeper self and higher degree of self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is definitely considered as we should be considerate of our emotions. What emotions we are experiencing. The one thing what we can do is we can write down what sort of emotions we have. Like if we see that our emotions are fluctuating, right, too much, or we are going from one emotion to other very fast, like somebody's words are affecting us so much that it's affecting our happiness or our inner calm, so that means our self awareness is low. Once we get higher on self awareness, we have a more we have better control on our emotions, and we are not perturbed by circumstances around us, and we are quite above it. So that is the best part of spiritual intelligence, when we use our intelligence and understand what is there in our emotions, and a capacity to transcend difficulties standing against the crowd. Now this is one thing which I've always seen, that people are generally following the crowd without understanding themselves or what they actually want. That is why youngsters or we all of us are falling in peer pressure. Exactly, enhancing our inner self chakra. Chakras are something, with the fourth pictures also, we have lots of chakras in our body. So there are various ways to enhance our chakras. We can do this specific session on this if everyone wants. So in this case, that also helps us connect to ourselves. Exactly. Practicing yoga and advanced meditation. Exactly. And standing against the crowd. So can anyone tell us what do you mean by standing against the crowd? Like, do you all also feel sometimes that you're pressurized by your peers, or if everybody is doing something, I also want to do, even if you don't want to do it, we do it sometimes. Right, conformity and compliance. So a lot of people, I think Shubhankar and everyone else would accept that we conform a lot to the society, and we comply a lot to what others are saying, to the general opinion of the public. And spirituality is something which is always said that it's practiced by old people or who are about to die, or even religion. But it is actually not so. If we see it and if we practice it in our life, it is nothing like that. Exactly, Monica, focusing on our own ability. Listening to music, exactly. That is something which is very elevating, I feel. Yeah. Yes, Rashmi Verma, ma'am, right. It's recognizing our own talents and abilities. Jayanti Venkatesh Sai, exactly. Listening to music, that is another concept which is there. Even we can practice music, all kind of music. Exactly. Practicing any hobby. Exactly. Deblina Sharma, practicing any hobby. These days, I have been very inspired by pastel painting. Like, when we use pastel things, that fine. Yeah, dance, aerobic, Western music, gardening. Yes, these things always connect us to nature. And people are actually going back to their roots, but not everybody. Right. So all these things, as mentioned by the people here, and what I said, all these things can help you get a bigger and greater control on your mindset, and you can always transcend difficulties through these processes. Exactly. Can I have the next slide? As I know we are short of time, because this is something such a big topic that we can always discuss for longer hours. Can I have the next slide, Mr. Gaurav? Yes, reading books and acquiring knowledge. True. Reading books is another therapy in itself. It is really a therapeutic thing if we read good books, not those books which are like, we should choose what kind of books or what kind of thoughts we are giving ourselves. That is, any books anybody would want to recommend for the people here. Uh, as I recommended Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, that is one book which have really connected me to everything. Like, I really like reading that book.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone else who would want? Yeah. Inner Engineering. Hi, Surbhi. Yes, Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. That is really very nice. I've also read glimpses of it, although didn't read the entire thing. But yes, I know that it is a very nice book. Outdoor game, travel, nature, exactly. Ruma, Asthana, very nice. Yeah. Moving outshore for refreshment, exactly. Right, very true. Can I have the next slide? Gaurav, I think, am I audible to him? Or Monica, can you tell me? Yes. So there are benefits of SI as well. So as I discussed in the previous slide also, that it helps one manage emotions effectively. So one practice that all of you can do is that you can track your emotions every day. What kind of emotions you are feeling the most? For example, if it is anger, it is sadness, it is, what is it which rules your mind, and then you can consciously replace it with a more positive emotion. So if it is more of anger, you need to understand why is it coming from, where it is coming from, and you would always understand that it is basically our reaction to the environment that is causing such an emotion than what the other people are. Although you might think that it is easier said than done, but if we practice it, it is quite easy. It doesn't affect us that much. And another thing is that, the more you practice it, the more influence it will have on your physical health also. It will be good, and you will be look much younger than you actually are. Right. Discussing with friends. Right. Shubhankar, if anybody is struggling with attaining worldly position and moving towards spirituality, Sorrows of Saturn. Okay, that's really nice. By Mary Corell. That's nice. Okay. Jayanti wrote excitement, contempt, disgust. Exactly. Okay. So is it that you feel it, or is it just a general thing that you're suggesting, Jayanti? So if you're feeling contempt and disgust, we can replace it with opposite emotions. Like contempt, we can feel more, grateful or gratitude. We can practice more of gratitude or happiness, or maybe we can, remove those people from our lives. Also, sometimes it is also needed to, remove certain people. Forgive the person, but not let them affect our affirmation. Right. Shalini, happy. Okay, happy comedy. All right. Can you move to the next slide, Mr. Gaurav? Yeah. So as we had written that we become more reflective and introspective. So those who are already practicing some kind of spiritual discipline, such as chanting or, as they said, yoga, meditation, anything, they must be feeling the change in themselves, the transformation, that they become more reflective. So the more reflective and introspective you are, more you are into yourself. And even the Indian gurus, as we follow, as Surbhi said, Sadhguru and Satyasai, or anyone, any of our personal gurus, or even generally, if we follow some Western philosophers as well, everyone has the same thing to say, that we should have the time to reflect, and we should be more introspective and reflective about our scenario. The more reflective we are every day, if we keep a certain amount of time for ourselves, for example, 10 minutes, 15 minutes every day in the morning or in the evening, 20, 25 minutes. Just we are on our own, we are reflecting on our actions, we are reflecting on how we treated others and everything else. So what will happen is we will be able to be better human beings, definitely. And another thing is that we will not get perturbed, or we will not feel perturbed by adversities, or if something wrong happens, word for it. Yes, in your engineering, Shivani. Exactly. I think Shivani, you're talking about Brahma Kumari, right? Even she has talks a lot on spirituality and how to manage your emotions. So reflection is very important. Anyone who practices reflection here, or anyone who has practiced reflecting on their emotions, or who has benefited from it, because I have personally benefited a lot from reflection. Anybody? Yes. Okay. 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 While reading Bible. Exactly. Bible also has so many quotes, very nice quotes that we can always imbibe and we can practice in our lives. Okay, Shubhankar, you also do it. That's very nice. Very good. Okay. Lot of meditation. Yeah, meditation is something, any kind of meditation helps. You're talking to a friend helps. Even I have experienced it, that when you talk to a good friend and express and vent your emotions, it really helps. And they also help you in connecting with yourself. Combination of reflection and meditation. Very nice, Surbhi. That's very nice. And I personally know that you like reading a lot and you reflect a lot on things. I know. Okay, watching Discovery. Yes. Family bonding. Yeah, bonding with family is also one thing which is there. Yeah. Listening to music. Exactly. That is something I think earlier also just mentioned. It has been mentioned. Yeah, talk to friend and mother. Exactly. Talking to your mother also helps a lot. Okay, very nice. Okay, can we go to the next slide? Can we make okay, reading and understanding Bhagavad Gita, right? Anger and disappointment. I think in everyday life, because people who are working, yes, sharing with loved ones, Deblina, we are who benefits, get angry very easily, or when we work in corporates or any kind of office culture, or when we get lots of people, we meet lots of people around, like lots of kinds of people. So now they also feel, they are angry and they have a very bad mood. They try to get it on us, and we also in turn get the bad mood again. So those who have a high spiritual intelligence, they know that it is their mood and I am not going to be affected by them. So what happens is that they are more at peace in themselves and they are more in sync with their own inner nature, isn't it? And they can share it with others. As Debrina said, anger and disappointment also can be overcome through, sharing with others. That is the reading and understanding. Exactly. True, true. So it helps in managing our anger and disappointment. Can I have the next slide? Yeah. Yeah, so sorrow and irritability, as I had already mentioned that, sorrow and people who are irritated by, small things, they don't know what to do, what to say, or they're very, sad, depressed. But these days, mostly people are mostly depressed with a lot of situations, right? So anybody here who was maybe depressed or could overcome depression or a bad phase of life through being spiritually intelligent? Yeah, shaking hands. That is also something which uh, transmits energy. That is also there, and thoughts, thinking good thoughts, because thoughts has a very important part. Even Vivekananda, if everybody who has read about him, we know that he used to give a lot of importance to thoughts, isn't it? So yes, that is there. Okay, the next one. Yeah, hugging. Hugging is another thing very good. Hugging can be a very good thing. Yeah. Thanking water before drinking it. Shaking of negativity day by day. Right. So when we practice these things, what happens is our sorrow, we're not irritable. So every day if we practice, gratitude, hugging or shaking hands as Ruma said, right? So all these things can help us overcome our sorrow and irritability. Yeah, next one, please. Can I have the next one, Gaurav? Mr. Gaurav? Yeah, so how do we increase? As I said, like now we had an open discussion sort of a thing when we were discussing everything, like, yes, appreciation. So if you have if you have allocate time for some open discussion, maybe with your family members once a week, twice a week, expressing how you're feeling about your life, that would be very nice. Review your behavior and recording our daily activities. This is something which is very good and I would suggest you to do it, that record your daily activities every day. Whatever you're doing, just do it, what you do at what point of time and how it is affecting you. And if you feel that there is something which is lacking, some daily activity which is not there, which you feel is not good, or you feel that it is extra for you, just keep it and replace it with others. So these are some few of the ways to increase spiritual intelligence. Okay, can I go to the next slide, Gaurav? We are almost coming to the end of the slide. Yeah. So basically, okay, before ending, as I said that you can allocate, anybody as I had asked earlier also before ending the session here, can anyone tell me from their end, have they been trying these activities, any of them which I mentioned? Yes, somebody, exactly. Thanking God before eating food is very important. And yes, I would like to add chanting before eating food is also very good, because chanting has a very good effect on on your thoughts. And before you're eating it, the positive energy that is there, it is transmitted to the food. It has been scientifically proven. So you can always chant and thank God, because thanking also makes us feel good about the things which we already have instead of focusing on what we don't have. And another thing that spiritual intelligence helps is we don't compare ourselves with others. We are happy and grateful about our own lives, and we are in competition with ourselves rather than being in competition with others. So this was a very nice quote which was given, which has been mentioned on emotional and spiritual intelligence. That when emotional intelligence merges with spiritual intelligence, human nature is transformed. So now I think I also have felt it in my life, because I've been practicing spiritual practices since 2013, and later on I started more of it. And the more I've been doing it, the more I feel that there are a lot of things that have transformed in me. I was more, reactive to things earlier. Now it has become very less. I'm more calm in situations when people are perturbed. I can actually solve problems easily. So these things can really help in understanding your own nature. So, okay, so I think before ending, anybody would quickly want to ask any question or anything, or maybe want to suggest some topics which we can related to spirituality, which would they want to hear out from me in the future sessions, can tell me in the chat box or in the or through audio, anything, whatever you feel like. Okay, Shubhanka, thanks a lot. What would you want? Can you tell me specifically? And please fill the form, which the feedback form, because that would give us a lot of, and me also a lot of motivation to continue. And I would like to improve on whatever you feel was lacking or what you felt could be better. Okay, thanks, Ruma, Astana. Okay, mind empowerment. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks, Surbhi. Thanks, Ruma. Thanks. We feel happy, and all of you came here. Thanks so much for coming and joining our session. Thank you so much. Thanks, Simar. Thanks, Krishna Kishore. Okay, how spirituality. Thanks, Shubhankar. Yes, I know the lacking was time. I wanted to spend more time on all this because though it's a 1 hour session, it's quite short. Maybe we can next time go for a longer session, right? Can the balance between IQ and EQ pave the way? Okay, right. Okay. Yes, can the balance between spiritual EQ and IQ pave the way for spiritual intelligence? Yes, that is true. Once you are working on your IQ, Mansi, right? You can always have a higher spiritual intelligence because these, as I mentioned in the first slide, all these are related. Yes. Yeah. And thank you, Kalpana. Thank you. Okay, I will organize on logotherapy and mindfulness for sure, Abantika. And thanks for the insight. And I would work with Mr. Gaurav and Miss Monica, and we will come up with a plan. Thanks a lot, all of you, once again for coming. So I would like to end the session now because it's quite, I think it's already exactly 1 o'clock. Thanks a lot, all of you, for coming. And
Thank you,
thank you,
Mr. Sir. Wonderful session like this covered by Mr. Sir. Hello.
thanks a lot. Hello. Yeah, I can hear you, Mr. Gaurav. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to be here and be a part of your team. Thanks a lot. And looking forward to more sessions as well.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you, Monica, as well for the moderation. It was very nice that you gave so much insight, and
Thank
all
you.
the participants for your insight and being so much involved in the session. I really loved it. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
Please
you. Thank you
submit
all.
feedback form.
Please submit your
Dear
feedback.
participants, kindly submit your feedback because it is one feedback that will help us to create the
Yeah.
certificate for all of you, and it will again help all of us to know like where we can work and what are the other topics we can look for in our future. So thank you everyone for joining to today's
And
webinar, and thanks a lot, Shamolima ma'am. Yes, yes, please, please go on.
yeah, I'm saying that there are lots of topics they've mentioned, so please take a note. I have also taken a note so
Sure,
we can
sure, ma'am.
make a plan on it, isn't it? Yes, please go on,
Yes,
Monica.
yes.
You were saying something.
Yes, I would like all of you to fill that feedback form, and thank you, ma'am, for today's wonderful session because it was so interactive. Like people kept on answering your questions, and I really get influenced by this particular topic. It was very new to me, and again, I am thanking all those participants who have joined, and hope to see all of you in future on our upcoming webinars on
Yes,
different
please do
topics.
join. Yes, please do
And
join.
again, I am asking all of you to kindly follow that feedback form as soon as possible.
Right. Thanks, Anshu Kumari, Ranila. Thanks, Shubhankar. Thanks, Ruma. Thanks, everybody who came here. Thanks, Dincy. It was very interesting. He said, thanks a lot. Okay, then, if I miss someone, please apologies for that. In the next session, we will be joining again. Thanks a lot, all of you. Once again.
Okay.
Take care. I
Thank
will
you,
end here.
ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, take care. Take care.